Now, Gauteng MEC Lebogang Maile has painted a bleak picture of the state of municipalities in the province. He says 1 out of the 11 municipalities is stable and that others are at a very low risk of being dysfunctional. Earlier today, the MEC released a report on the state of the province's council. Newzroom Afrika's Malungelo Booi was there. Malungelo, very good afternoon to you. Perhaps mixed reviews coming in following the feedback that we heard from Lebogang Maile?
Well, I'll tell you this, what we heard from that report that was released by Lebogang Maile is not something new. In fact, in 2020, the Portfolio Committee on Traditional Affairs and Cooperative Governance did raise concerns about the issues in some of the municipalities here in Gauteng. At the heart of that at that time, one of the things the Portfolio Committee had raised really was the high vacancy rate in these municipalities. That's at the senior level of these municipalities. But there are also concerns really important about the levels of service delivery. We saw then in this report that was released by Lebogang Maile, again, the issues about high vacancy rate at some of the municipalities. In fact, only 3 municipalities in Gauteng out of the 11 have got a municipal manager. And that on its own is a problem. And Lebogang Maile does say that that on its own is a problem, and it does contribute to the problems that we're seeing in terms of service delivery. Let's take a listen at what he had to say.
Out of the 11 municipalities in the province, 1, which is Ekurhuleni, is stable. Another one, Midvaal, is at a very low risk of being dysfunctional. 7 municipalities are at risk and require very close monitoring and support. Tshwane, Johannesburg, Mogale, Rand West, Lesedi, West Rand and Sidibeng. 2 municipalities are dysfunctional and also in financial distress, Mfuleni and Mirafo. Mfuleni and West Rand municipalities are under Section 1B and Section 1395 interventions respectively, with Mfuleni also under Section 63 of the Water Services Act.
Now, in raising some of the aspects that came out of that meeting, the electricity debt owed to Eskom by Gauteng municipalities has increased, although Maile says the power utility and the provincial government continue to meet to solve municipal debt.
The outstanding amount owed to Eskom by Gauteng municipalities increased from 9.49 billion to 9.75 billion as at the 13th of April 2022, with only 3 municipalities reporting no overdue accounts: the city of Ekurhuleni, Lesedi and Midvaal. Mirafo continues to make payments on a weekly basis to address the outstanding debt owed to Eskom. The municipality has proposed a new payment plan just recently. Randwater meets on a weekly basis with Eskom, Gauteng Provincial Treasury and COGTA in the province on its outstanding debt. COGTA in the province, together with Treasury, continues to engage Eskom for amicable solutions in dealing with the overdue debt owed by Gauteng municipalities.
Right, Malu, really speaking to the issue of municipalities battling to pay their debt, something that has also been flagged by the Auditor General.
In fact, Lebogang Maile says municipalities in Gauteng are in crisis, but here's an interesting fact in all of this is that ratepayers owe municipalities about 70 billion rand.
Yeah, that's really quite shocking. And it talks to perhaps what happens from here. What are some of the solutions that are being put on the table?
Well, what we know, though, is that the municipalities will have to report to the provincial government every quarter to essentially explain what is it that they are doing to try and address the problems that have been raised. But here's also an interesting fact that Lebogang Maile mentioned today is that they have actually deployed some of their officials to some of these municipalities municipalities, and that some of their officials are already not being well received in some of these councils that are problematic.
Yeah, really a problematic area indeed. What were some of the other aspects that were touched in that briefing?
Essentially, so we also know, though, that these municipalities here in Gauteng actually have got this fruitless and wasteful expenditure that they need to deal with. Lebogang Maile also highlighting that as a concern, saying that these municipalities need to do more to deal with that particular problem. But there's also issue of these coalition governments. He says the coalition governments are starting to create a problem, especially in these major metropoles. In fact, he made an example about the city of Johannesburg. Remember, the city of Johannesburg has got an acting mayor. They have an acting municipal manager. They have to fill that vacancy. Lebogang Maile already saying that he's receiving complaints about the infighting amongst the coalition partners, because they have each coalition partner has got a preferred candidate for the position of the mayor, and he says that is already starting to create a problem. And he says because there's no municipal managers in some of these municipalities, that on its own is affecting service delivery.
Sure, the ripple effect, really unbelievable. Thank you so much.